There's a video by Anabolic Stick titled, Why Greg Ducet and Hussein Farhat Need to Be Stopped. Now listen, I keep tabs on the shitness industry from my ivory tower of slop, okay? I don't know who this kid is. All I know is that he's claiming Natty, and he's not even passing the 3-eye vibe check. I mean, some people are so goddamn lost in the sauce, and dare I say, retarded. They need confirmation that this kid is natural, not using hormones or drugs to get this physique. Are you kidding me? What, you think he's eating more broccoli than you? You think he's getting a couple more bicep curls in? No. This is that Mike O'Hearn duck pack guaranteed.
This is Hussein Farhat, a pathological liar who was recently blown up on the internet for his absolutely insane physique.
Dude, that's Natty. What the fuck do you mean?
Hussein lies to his young audience of millions by claiming that he achieved this physique quote-unquote naturally within only 3 years. And this is cookbook salesman and IFBB.
The fact that Hussein is co-owner of Greg's supplements is shady indeed. What? Is he? This kid? How did he get that deal?
Pro Greg Ducet, who has been helping Hussein perpetuate this lie for his own gain. In this video, I'll be explaining how and why Greg went from calling Hussein out on being a fake natty, to helping him lie to everyone about being natural, and even making him a co-owner of Greg's own supplement
Alright. And people need more proof, dude?
company in the process. Let's get into it. About a year ago, Hussein blew up on TikTok for his absolutely insane physique and made being a natty his entire brand.
My 3-year natural transformation from 19 to 22. You know what's so interesting about these natties, right? They discover that they're sitting on phenomenal genetic potential at the age of fucking 19. By 19, I was already deadlifting over 500, benching over 300, squatting over 400. Would you do a push-up and found out that you could step on stage? How do you go through your entire teenagehood to then discover that you're a freak of nature? Doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. It's impossible.
However, his rise on TikTok was instantly accompanied by hordes of people calling him out for lying about his natty status. Due to all this attention, Hussein quickly found himself on Greg Ducet's radar, and Greg proceeded to make a natty or not on Hussein, correctly calling Hussein a
2.5 years, bro. Look.
Fake natty. I mean, Greg hits all the notes in this video. He starts off by talking about diminishing returns and how much muscle someone with good genetics could realistically
Greg uploaded on this guy 2 hours ago. Is it a response video?
Grow in 3 years, which is about 26 pounds, when Hussein gained more than double that, 60 pounds. He also talks about how—
Dude, it's just like an insult to my intelligence, dude. I don't even want to engage with this. This shouldn't be a question. The rise and fall, interesting.
60 pounds. He also talks about how Hussein didn't gain a single fat cell while putting on 60 pounds of lean contractile tissue. He somehow even managed to get leaner. This goes far beyond—
This is quail eggs and raw garlic, bro.
any body recomposition that any new lifter in the gym can pull off. This is straight up only possible with performance enhancing drugs. I'll say it again, the guy managed to go from 15% body fat to like 7% body fat, all the while gaining 60 pounds of pure muscle. Take for example me. This is me 3 years ago at 132 pounds and around 13% body fat. And this is me 3 years later at 183 pounds but also at a much higher body fat percentage of—
He's on NoFap, leave him alone. Dude, that's fake natty detected right here. Are you kidding me?
about 18%. I put on a good amount of muscle, but to do so, I also had to put on some fat.
Dude, that's steroids.
I'm not on performance enhancing drugs.
I hated being skinny, so I dedicated myself every single day. 19 months later, I mean, you saw it with your own eyes. In 19 months, that's 1 year and 7 months, he went from being a skinny guy, he seemed to have some abs, to having a ton of muscle.
Yeah, dude, you're just sitting on untapped genetic potential. Were just a twink all throughout high school and even the beginning of college. You just had to start lifting, bro.
It's very obvious. It's as if he put 17 years of training in only a matter of 17 months. To me, this is indicative.
All the fake natties putting on only muscle and losing fat at the same time.
Of a guy who is using performance-enhancing drug.
I mean, this just pretty much sums it all up in its entirety. Hussein tries to play it off as if he made 17 years worth of gains in only 17 months. It's quite frankly insulting that he even tried—
Yeah, you guys didn't know that genetics start in college? Holy shit.
To lie about being natural.
But the amount of transformation that he made, truly unbelievable.
To be fair to that kid, he wasn't losing fat. No, he literally went down in body fat.
I personally don't believe it. If he were on steroids, for the most part, if you were to take steroids and or SARMs and make this kind of transformation, it would still be very impressive. And so even with steroids, this kind of transformation, this kind of physique is very rare.
As Greg correctly points out here, this transformation would be impressive and out of the ordinary even on steroids.
He's actually leaner here.
It is simply not achievable naturally and definitely not in only 3 years.
Bro, just like, what is it gonna take, dude? What is it gonna take to convince these people? I swear to God, there's an entire subsect of the shitness industry that will look at a Belgian blue in the flesh and be like, nope, that's chicken broccoli rice. Dude, you can trace the veins from his cock to his chest.
I mean, just look at his 2-week transformation. This is his transformation after only 4 chest days max. Only 4 shoulder days max. I genuinely believe Hussein didn't try training Natty for a single day.
No, he just actually hopped on steroids immediately. That's the only way. That's the only way the timetable makes sense. He didn't even attempt to train Natty.
And that he started juicing from day 1. Now, if you think I'm being ridiculous by saying that, just take a look at what Hussein says in this video he only posted a couple of weeks ago titled My Natural 3 Years Transformation.
I wanted to get more girls, basically. That was my goal.
And that is a dangerous game, okay? Because what you're looking for is instant gratification. You want the punani. Yeah. You want the axe wound. You want the gash. Listen, a lot of times people say, this is what no pussy does to a motherfucker. No, I've seen what pussy does to a motherfucker, and it's worse. This Gen Z breed of instant gratification maxers are abhorrent.
The main thing I had in mind before starting was like, it's going to take so long to get there. So I kept delaying it. But then I was like, fuck, the time's going to go by anyway. Like, I could have started when I was 17. Yeah. Fuck, I'll start right now. And I'll start when I was 19.
Right here, Hussein gives us his exact reasoning for hopping on gear. He literally says that before he started working out, he put off starting his gym journey because he knew it was going to be a long process and didn't want to wait. This is why he ended up taking a shortcut. He didn't have the patience to do it the natural way and wanted an insane physique as fast as possible. So he simply decided to juice from day 1 and to lie to everyone about being natural. Now after all of this, Greg and Hussein met up for a collab video that Greg titled I Still Think You're a Fake Natty Hussein, where they worked out together and Greg repeatedly expresses that he still believes there's absolutely no chance that Hussein could be natural.
Aren't looks maxers pushing roids now? Yeah, that doesn't surprise me in the slightest. It's Chad medicine.
Been doing this for 2.5 years now.
But guess what? No matter how many drugs they take, they're still little fucking bitches. Because it goes deeper than that.
And I went from 120-ish pounds, and I'm 182, 83 now.
So you went from around 120 to 180, so it's about 60 pounds of muscle in about 2.5 years. And just so you know, that's how much muscle
that's about 30 pounds a year. That makes sense.
I put in my whole life. And he was able to do it in 2 years.
Just listen to
get fucked, pussy.
Hussein's nervous laugh as he's confronted with how ridiculous his claims of being natty sound when he gained as much muscle in 3 years as an
bone smash plus cold plunge plus roids plus girth max plus height max. What else? Yeah, it covers it all pretty much.
IFBB pro bodybuilder did throughout his entire career.
That's how much muscle I put in my whole life. He was able to do it in 2 years. So I don't know how he's going to prove me wrong. We're going to see.
He corrects Greg as if those 6 months make any difference, as if those added
you forgot about mewing.
6 months take away anything from the absurdity of his claim.
And so what's your opinion? Jeff Seed, would you say he was natural as a teenager or enhanced?
I would say he's not. He's probably enhanced, probably dabbled in a bit of stuff.
Dude, the blatant shamelessness to correctly say that Jeff Seed was not natty as a teenager, but to then try and pass off your own physique transformation as being 100.
Is this Eugene Sando? Is that what I'm looking at? Yeah, it is. I mean, why do I just know everything, dude?
100% natural when it's arguably more impressive than what Jeff was able to do in his first 3 years of training with steroids is just so ridiculous.
It's Teddy Roosevelt with no glasses.
Ridiculous and shameless. This is Jeff Seed's 7-year transformation, which as Hussein correctly states, was achieved by the help of steroids. And here is Hussein's very own transformation that only took 3 years opposed to Jeff's.
To be fair, Jeff Seed's transformation is, I mean, this guy's just aesthetic as fuck, mate. But this is what being a juice goblin will get you. I mean, you might get these results in 2.5 years if your androgen receptor sensitivity is absolutely cracked and you're just blasting and cruising.
7 years, which Hussein claims he achieved naturally.
Now, what about, this is everyone wants to know, David Lade, do you think he's a lifetime natural? Do you think he's natural right now?
I don't think lifetime. I'm pretty sure not, just because of I think he put a lot of, on his bench, a lot of weight. He gained a lot of muscle pretty quickly.
Again, correctly calling David Lade a fake natty, but insisting that his own physique transformation was done naturally when his is more impressive than what David Lade was able to do in that time frame is just so shameless. How can you just repeatedly lie like this?
Would you rather rush to get your gains and then stop, or would you rather slow it down and get it for a long time?
I'd say both, to be honest.
Both, okay.
Because I like doing stuff quick. Like I said, I've only been doing videos for a year now. So I like, of course, the journey, but I want to get results as fast as possible as well.
Yeah.
Does this not just sound like the exact type of person that would hop on steroids at the start of his fitness journey? Hussein, you're kind of self-reporting here, my man. And yet,
What are his lifts? Look at that strength progression. Oh wait, he probably doesn't even train compounds.
after all of this, something changed. Fast forward just a little bit and suddenly the tone shifts. What was once a textbook fake natty case is now being walked back. Why? Because Hussein sent Greg a singular blood panel. A blood panel which showed all the markers as being in the normal range and showed no signs of steroid use.
If he was on HEG, his LH, it would be in the tank. His body wouldn't need to make it, and so he's not on these things. He's clearly natural. Based on the blood work, based on the evidence, this guy, 1 in a million genetics. And so let's see it in the comment section. Do you now believe him? I never believed him.
You know you're a fake natty when your entire routine is just various flies. He doesn't post his lifts.
But the proof is in the pudding, and we've analyzed it. The pudding being the blood work, and so what are you going to believe? We have to conclude 100% natural.
So that's it, right? Hussein milled Greg's blood work, Greg analyzed it, and it all checked out. Hussein is 100% natty. Wrong. Greg knows better than anyone that a singular blood panel taken by the accused himself and mailed over to him on the internet can by no measure of reason be taken as conclusive evidence. This isn't just me being overly and unreasonably skeptical. There's a reason why when Matt Does Fitness was accused of being a fake natty, including by Greg Ducet himself, a single blood test was not enough to convince anyone.
I highly doubt that Matt Does Fitness has...
How about using your fucking eyes? I mean, we could skip all these drug tests. I just, your gut instinct isn't enough. Have you guys worked out? Have you lifted weights before? I don't get it, dude. We're all lifting the same weights.
a sophisticated drug-passing system that he's going to be able to beat the...
And then these motherfuckers have this, like, moral superiority. They're like, oh, I'm just training harder than you. Like, you're not. You're literally not. I've seen your workout. Well, it's just genetics, bro. No, it's not. It's drugs.
these tests. And so if he does, in fact, keep his strength, keep his size, his physique looking the way it does over the next...
No, I mean, like, this is like after 6 months of swimming. Yeah, no, you can get this physique. You just gotta like walking for 10 minutes after your meals, getting 8 hours of sleep, and wearing blue light glasses will get you this physique. And one of my buddies, he got similar results doing 1 month of badminton. Yeah, dude. No. Yeah. Checks out.
year, while being drug tested a number of times, I do believe that makes a strong case that Matt Does Fitness was actually natural all along.
To truly clear his name, Matt had to undergo randomized third-party drug testing. A lab would show up unannounced every month for almost half a year, collect his blood work, and then Derek from More Plates More Dates would analyze it for consistency. All the while, his physique and strength levels were monitored to see if he had lost any size or strength, because if he had simply cycled off of gear, the resulting testosterone suppression would have caused a noticeable decline. Yet when it comes to Hussein Farhat, a guy who made more impressive gains in 3 years than Matt arguably has in his entire lifting career, Greg throws skepticism out of the window and instantly accepts a singular blood panel as proof of natty status. Do you see the contradiction? There's just too many ways that Hussein could have tampered with the blood work. Cycling off of PEDs aside,
None of this is important, dude. Just like use your brain.
what he simply could have done is gotten a friend of his who is natty to take a blood test at the same time as he did, and then simply copy his name from his own blood work and Photoshop it onto his friends' clean blood work. There's just so many ways to fake blood work, which Greg obviously knows, but Greg just immediately accepts one singular blood test and against all common logic starts parading Hussein around as a natty phenom. Greg knows better than anyone that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, especially in the fitness industry, and a singular blood
Cycle off PCT, then while recovering announce you now want to be tested, so you'll pass random testing easy.
test sent to Greg over the internet just
Dude, all these people know all the tricks, man. They don't have an economic incentive to tell the truth to their fans. They're selling supplements and the pipe dream of building muscle like them. Because the whole fucking facade falls apart when you realize that they took drugs to get their results. And that it's not, you know, fucking Turk! Or they're pre-workout laced with meth.
doesn't come close to cutting it. But why anabolic stick? Why would Greg just immediately take this dubious blood work at face value when he should obviously know better? Well, what's the single biggest motivator for anything in this world? Money. Hussein is a relatively new up-and-coming fitness influencer who has made a more impressive physique transformation than most of the fitness industry's heavy hitters such as David Lade, Alex Eubanks, etc. As soon as Hussein sent Greg his dubious blood work, Greg, being the prolific businessman that he is, saw an immediate opportunity to proclaim Hussein a natural and therefore be able to sign him to his own supplement company before any other brands could get their hands on Hussein. He basically saw
When I see a kid with small wrists and huge biceps, I know they are on that shit. That's what I'm saying, dude. Just look at the twink physiognomy, okay? The elite genetics are probably the kids, you know, going on scholarships for their sport. Not some geek, some Johnny Pencilneck who discovered a barbell way too late in life and is now reclaiming the glory of not getting any ass in high school. Let's be real here.
an opportunity to just throw his hands up in the air, play a fool, and pretend like he fully trusts the blood work just so he could be the first to sign Hussein to his brand. This is only proven by the fact that Greg didn't just sign Hussein to his supplement company as an ambassador, he has made Hussein a co-owner of his company. This just goes to show that Greg is incredibly eager to have and keep Hussein on board. If he's eager enough to instantly make Hussein a co-owner, he's definitely more than eager enough to play along with Hussein's lies. Okay, but hold on a second here. Greg wouldn't lie. Greg cuts through all the bullshit all the time. Look at the countless of people he has exposed for being fake natties. Well,
in fact, I think the biggest indication of somebody being a fake natty was one, looking at their transformation, but if how much of a twink they were before. Hundo P.
dear viewer, Greg Ducet is not a stranger to lying himself. It is widely known within the broader bodybuilding community that Greg Ducet is a retroactive fake natty. He admits he's taken steroids for years, but lies about when he actually started taking them. He claims he did 42 natural bodybuilding shows while being actually natural, and claims he was natural in these pictures. If this physique belonged to
Yeah, it's natty. Dude, I was there in 2006. I actually was I was one of the judges. Based on the dick to ball ratio in the banana hammock, 100% natty.
any other person, he would never in a million years say that the person in these pictures is natty. Over the course of countless of natty or nots that Greg Ducet has made, he's called out countless of fake natties who looked way less impressive than he did in these pictures, fake natties, while claiming he was 100% natural in
It's probably just the tan, to be honest. Or the BBC genetics, I can't tell.
these pictures. Now, a lot of people will say, well, Greg is a self-proclaimed manlet. He's about 5'6". Any muscle that he puts on will make him look more impressive than someone that's taller than him. While I still don't think this is in any way achievable naturally even for a short guy with good genetics, I already know that's an argument a lot of people will make. Well, let's take a look at a certain video. This video was taken in April of 2009. As the title states, Greg claims he was natural as of this video. However, only 6 months later, on November
I just don't get it. I don't understand why people lie, dude.
the 28th, 2009, Greg Ducet for the first time was caught taking steroids by failing a steroid test during a powerlifting meet. This is subsequently the point he claims he stopped being natty. Now you tell me what's more likely. A. Greg was natural his whole life while having an insane physique, then decided to hop on a cycle for the first time ever and got caught immediately trying to compete in a natural powerlifting meet. Or B. Greg had been juicing for a while and only had to start admitting he was not natural anymore after he got busted. If you want to believe Greg on this matter, you'd have to believe that he looked absolutely nutty and clearly enhanced while being natural, and then gets popped for PED usage while trying to compete in a natural powerlifting meet, but lo and behold, it was the first time he ever hopped on a cycle. To me, the more plausible explanation by a long shot is that Greg was juicing for years, but simply got sloppy after a while, failed to pass a drug test, and as damage control claims it was the first time he dipped his hand in the naughty PED jar. To be fair to Greg though, the majority of
Dude has been juicing for so long, he doesn't even know what Natty is anymore. Yeah, he's lost in the sauce.
bodybuilders in his generation were also retroactive fake natties and would very often lie and heavily downplay how many steroids they were using. Now, there's no real way to prove this since we haven't invented a time machine and can't scrupulously drug test Greg in 2008, but I can assure you that if Hussein went through a process of third-party randomized drug testing over the course of nearly a year, if he were to show signs of being natural, his physique would have severely deteriorated because he would have cycled off for the tests. He's 1000% a fake natty, and Greg absolutely knows that Hussein is full of shit. Since all of this, aside from becoming business partners with Hussein, Greg has collaborated with him numerous times and has been promoting Hussein at every step of the way. Although I do believe that Greg is a retroactive fake natty, before this entire Hussein debacle, I also believe that he was a net positive for the fitness industry and was doing a lot of good work calling out fake natties and educating people about what is possible naturally. It is truly sad to see him selling out like this and endorse.
What percentage of bodybuilders are closeted or just gay? It's gotta be above 50. One thing I wonder, if you juice and fuck up your natural test production, do you have to take TRT for your whole life? That sounds scary as fuck to rely on a needle. So, initially, that is true. Most people agree that is the case. But, apparently, your natural test will kick in again. Maybe. But there's no shot it will ever be it won't be firing on all cylinders as if you were a lifetime natty. No shot.
Like this, endorsing such a blatant lie that goes against all the good work he's done for the past couple of years. As for Hussein, there are always going to be people that will have no qualms with lying to however many people necessary in order to become successful. I genuinely have no problem with people that decide to hop on gear, and I even have no problem when these
I do. Cringe.
people don't explicitly
You're sticking things in your ass? Huh? To get a better pump? Huh? You want to be juicy? What?
state that they are on gear. I genuinely believe it's their right to keep it private. But when you actively lie by saying that you are natural,
See, people think that bigger muscles equal more women. Most women find it disgusting after a certain point. Imagine you become a mass monster just to get absolutely cucked by a tennis twink, 130 pounds soaking wet. But because he has hair and is quirky, he just mogs you. Like, what?